Let's shift our attention to, speaking of superstars, Ace, I know you were pretty vocal the other night on the broadcast about the situation going on in Columbus right now with Pierre-Luc Dubois. This is a bit perplexing, and it's interesting because following our broadcast the other night, I was looking in my Twitter feed, and there were some fans from Columbus that were chiming in on the conversation with tagging you and I in there, talking about, hey, you know, this guy's been here. He hasn't shown up. He's not pleasant to listen to in the media interviews. There's a reason that he wants out and we want him out. And I found it really interesting that some of the fans are actually on the side of John Tortorella in this situation. So what do you foresee happening with this rift between the Columbus Blue Jackets and their superstar player wanting out of town? I mean, what is going to happen here as we continue to monitor this story moving forward?
Of course, I expect the fans to be on Torts' side. He's their coach, and here's a player, Pierre Dubois, that wants out. So fans are going to take it personally, and I would be a little bit offended if the fans didn't take it personally. I'd be offended if Jarmo Kekalainen, the general manager, and John Tortorella didn't take it personally that guys don't want to be a part of that organization. My problem I had with it was Pierre Dubois wanted to keep it private, and he didn't want to talk about it. And we all have these laughs, we giggle, we crack up when Torts comes in the post-game press conferences after a loss and says, next question, I don't want to talk about it. But now all of a sudden, you want to talk about a player's situation, try to embarrass him when he said he didn't want to talk about it. And when I reached out to the Columbus Blue Jackets for comment on it, because I want to get both sides of the story, they said it's an internal matter. Well, okay, you want to keep it internal, but your coaching staff wants to put this guy out there all the time. And you can't say you want to keep him on a short leash. He's your number one center. Mm-hmm. So players around the league are asking themselves, what's happening in Columbus right now? Because I played there, KT. Columbus is a fabulous place to play. If you're a young guy, Ohio State's there. I don't want to pump Ohio State's tires too much. I went to Michigan State, Big Ten guy. But you have a lot of young students around you that it could be fun playing as a young guy. And if you're an older guy, you're married, you've got kids, it's a great place for a family. It's safe. Traffic is non-existent. So there's a lot of positive things about being a Columbus Blue Jacket, but they have to look inside themselves and ask themselves, why don't guys want to stick around here? And Columbus is in the same scenario as Winnipeg. Okay, they drafted well, they developed well. They're not getting free agents to come. They've got to make a point to try to create this environment that guys want to stay long term.
Got to be frustrating for everybody in Ohio, to be quite honest with you. You look at the makeup of their team, they've kind of built a hardworking, blue-collar type team that was really close to winning a few rounds in the playoffs. Last couple of years, they've been a really tough out. I love the way that they play, and Dubois kind of fits the mold of that team. He's not a perimeter type player. He's big, he's strong, he's physical, got all the skills to score goals and make the plays, but he's a hard-nosed type centerman that's going to check first and then do his offensive work later. That's what Columbus has created there as an identity. And here we go again. It was a couple of years ago, we were talking about Panarin and Bobrovsky and all the other guys leaving town, and they all left. And now we got the young, I mean, I'm looking at captains down the road for Columbus, and Seth Jones is there, Werenski's there, Dubois. Can you not see him in the leadership group long term? And, you know, there you go, right? And now they're all, he wants out. So I can see the frustration. I think it gets ugly here this season. Just wait until Dubois doesn't score for a couple of weeks. The team's losing games. Maybe Torts is in a bad mood and sparks something in the media. Everybody's waiting to jump on this story. The fact that Tortorella is involved, he's the best soundbite in our sport, in my opinion. It's going to explode at some point. I'm with you, Anson. I don't really like the fact that it's become public, but if I had to take a side, I'd take the team's side. Player wants out. Let's move him. Get him out of here. You don't need to be in the locker room. If you want to get traded and you want to move on, then get out of here.
Exactly. I don't think they should sit around and wait on it. They should but you know what? You want to make the best deal possible. You don't want to just make a move just because you have to make a move, because this could affect the franchise for the next 10 years. I think the problem with the Blue Jackets and some of these other teams think that, well, this guy's an RFA. He doesn't have any rights until he's a UFA, an unrestricted free agent. But that's not true. If you're an RFA, you still have the ability to talk to other teams if you don't have a contract. You might have less ability to move around without a compensation, but you're still a restricted free agent. The team doesn't completely own your rights if you don't have a contract. Yes, he signed a deal that allows other teams to now know that there's some cost certainty in place, but Columbus and some of these other teams start thinking the players, oh, we own you, we own you, we own you, and you don't own the players. You have their rights, but it's restricted free agency, not the other way around.